Night of the Shadow Beast. Ethan and Jake had been best friends since kindergarten. They did everything together, from riding bikes around their neighborhood to playing video games for hours. But tonight was different. Tonight, they were out in the middle of Blackwood Forest, camping alone for the first time. Their tent was pitched by a small creek. "This is awesome," Jake said, taking a bite of his s'more. "No parents, no rules. Just us and the wild." "Yeah, but let's hope the wild isn't too wild." Just then, a rustling sound came from the bushes behind them. Both boys froze. "Probably just a rabbit," Jake said, though his voice wavered slightly. Ethan grinned. The fire flickered as a cold wind swept through the clearing. The growl came again, closer this time. The boys grabbed their flashlights and shined them toward the trees. Two glowing yellow eyes stared back at them. Jake's breath caught in his throat. "Ethan, what is that?" The creature stepped forward, revealing a massive, hunched body covered in thick, matted fur. Its limbs were too long, its fingers ending in razor-sharp claws. Drool dripped from its snarling jaws as it let out a deafening roar. "Run!" Ethan shouted. The boys bolted toward the trees, their hearts pounding. Branches whipped at their faces as they sprinted deeper into the forest. Behind them, the monster crashed through the underbrush, gaining on them fast. "We need to hide," Jake gasped. They spotted an old, hollowed-out log and dove inside just as the creature skidded to a stop nearby. They held their breath as it sniffed the air, its claws scraping against the bark of a nearby tree. For what felt like an eternity, the monster stood there, its growls vibrating through the log. Then, as suddenly as it had appeared, it let out a snarl and disappeared into the darkness. The boys waited a long time before daring to move. "That was not a bear," Ethan whispered. "No kidding," Jake said, his voice shaking. "We need to get back to camp and get out of here." They crept back through the trees, every shadow making them jump. When they finally reached their campsite, their tent was shredded, their sleeping bags ripped apart. The fire was out, but deep claw marks were carved into the ground where the creature had stood. "We're leaving now," Ethan said. Without packing anything, they grabbed their flashlights and ran. They didn't stop until they reached their bikes, pedaling faster than ever down the dirt road back to civilization. They never spoke of what happened that night, but they never went camping again.